Blessed Rising God family. Wagwan is here, God brother Roots God Fender, drinking some mullein leaf tea. And for those of you who don't know, there has definitely been terrible air quality inside of New York City for the past few days. And I mean, not that New York City has any great air in terms of comparing it to certain places like the tropics, but you know, these forest fires, what am I call wildfires in Canada, are lurking over here. So it's important that we protect our bodies, protect our systems, especially our respiratory system during this time when we're inhaling all of these toxins. So got my mullein leaf tea, which is great for the lungs at expelling toxins and also just opening up those airways to expand and breathe a little bit better and more intentionally. So with that being said, God family, welcome to day 3 of the Ageless Living Just Juice July fast detox challenge, whatever you want to call it. But here we are, and we are practicing not only discipline, but we are practicing the act of taking care of our body and on a deep level and on a very spiritual level as well. So we are really concerned with holistic health at Ageless Living. So anybody who's ever taken any courses with me, products, food, drinks, join the team. You know, it's really all about allowing us to ascend and to refine ourselves to live more infinitely. So with that being said, I just want to talk briefly today before I go and teach the seniors. So this is day 3, and for those of you who may not be doing it on the exact day, I just want to let you know, hey, I love you so much, and I'm so glad you're doing this, even though you may be doing this on another cycle. That's beautiful too. And you know, during day 3, it tends to be some irritability, but it's also coming more into homeostasis in terms of our body being used to not having that consumption. So we're starting to feel more of that, more so calm during this time of major change within our own body, within our own processing and the way we do things. And you'll also notice that you're eliminating and you're getting rid of things that have probably been backed up. Because you haven't eaten in a few days, it's probably not as heavy unless you're carrying a lot of waste in your body. For me, I don't necessarily have a lot of waste, but I did notice that there was a lot of movement and things that needed to be eliminated, and it's been great just getting the body to a very clean state. Just like we clean our room, just like we clean our skin, we need to clean ourselves internally. So it's really essential, especially the first things you're getting in the rising. Of course, for those of you who are fasting with me, then we're doing nothing but putting organics in our body. So I definitely recommend mullein tea, you know, just so we can very, very much so hone in on different parts of the body, and today being the lungs, right? Great for respiratory illnesses and respiratory infections as well. It just really opens up those passageways inside of our body in terms of the nasal cavities. So very important. Get some mullein tea, get some tea in general, just get some good juices and keep that flow going. Yeah. I also, something that I definitely always try to do is go as long as possible without drinking, and even sometimes doing a dry fast. If I can pull a few days off doing a dry fast. And of course, monitor yourself, monitor your body. Keep something on deck just in case. But that's just an additional challenge to you. And yeah, so I want to talk today about holistic mindset. And when we think about a holistic mindset, like, it's one thing to have a mindset and that knowledge of self, and that ability to really process, to think critically, to just explore different ideas. Now, with the holistic mindset, I think it's important because we start to look on a deeper level in terms of our consciousness. We start to look and we start to head towards a cosmic consciousness or Christ consciousness, where we're being more universal with our thoughts in terms of how does my actions or inactions affect the people around me? How does my actions or inactions affect my society, my community, and the earth? I think when we start to look at that on a cosmic level, then we see our relationship to the earth, and we can further dive into our purpose. And for those of you who have seen the passion video with my father, or honoring my father, I should say, even though he was with me, he's always with me. You know, the purpose is what the P represents, right? And when we're honing in on our purpose, it's just important to see how we relate to life. And in that relationship to life, it's all about being observant and saying, okay, well, this is where I can contribute. This is where I can fit in, or this is the things that I have within me to bring to the table based on what the Most High has designed for me. So it's been interesting because I've been asking a few people, and I'm definitely curious, so please comment back and let me know. I've asked a few people based on conversations that have come up if they vote. And the reason I ask these questions is because I'm definitely becoming more and more passionate about politics. And the reason why is because whether we like it or not, these politicians are governing a lot of things that are happening in our society. And if we don't get involved, then we'll continue to complain as opposed to doing something about it. And I really, at this point in my life, believe in just execution. And I was reminded by that by one of my great mentors, Oraje. He saw me making an excuse about my own business. And he talked about this idea that if you love your business, if you are truly invested, if you truly locked into your business, then there wouldn't be no excuses. You'd make the time and you'd make things happen. And I think the same way about community. I think the same way about the country. So if we are really passionate about seeing major change, then we would do what we need to do to get involved and make a difference. Because a lot of people out there are smarter than the politicians that are governing them. And I'm not saying that everyone needs to join politics, but even in joining politics, you know, the Constitution, it starts by saying we the people of the United States, you know, and it's important to make that clear indication, because we have to know that there is power with us, especially because of voting rights that now have opened the doors for minorities, now have opened the doors for women, and we need to take full advantage of these things, in my opinion. The reason why is because we have leaders that don't necessarily represent us, and they don't necessarily represent our interests. They represent these businesses and corporations who are really not, they're also not invested in us. They're invested in the money that we can bring them, that energy that we're giving to them, but they're not invested in our overall health. And we see that being played out in the food industry and big pharma. We see that being played out in the media as well. We see that being played out in video games, and all of these things that are really designed to not promote welfare, to not promote knowledge of self, but really to promote this terrible structure where we're constantly running on a hamster wheel trying to make ends meet. Most of the people in this country are living check to check, and I just think that we have not invested in people. And as I said, that's the greatest investment we can make. We are God's greatest invention. We all have the potential and the capability of doing something extraordinary, but we haven't been put in the right positions, or maybe had the right help. And so a part of what I want to do is just be a reminder and offer help. It's not, to me, about healing others. It's really about healing myself to the point where I can help others. to the point where I could be a messenger and say, hey, I tried this. Or even if I do put a combination, an herbal package, or even some sort of meal plan together, it really is up to that person to take it. And it's up to that person to apply it to themselves. And then also say, you know what, maybe this part that Roots Guy gave me isn't necessarily working for me. How can I adjust so I can be my best self? So it's really important that we just look at a holistic mindset in terms of first healing thyself and then starting to heal everything around us, in terms of not necessarily saying, oh, I have a magic wand, but more so saying, all right, I have power to influence through my frequency, through my vibration, through the words that I'm speaking, through the places I'm going and the people that I'm meeting. I have power and influence. It's just like that saying when somebody walks into a room and they can light it up. And so it's really important, the people that you're allowing to influence you and have impact over you. And just time spending with people is influence. So we have to be aware of that, because some people will not necessarily push you towards your goals. They'll try to keep you in a nest, or they'll try to keep you even in an egg. And it's just like a bird, you know? Like, I think of Maya Angelou's poem a lot because I use it in a lot of my classes when I'm teaching children or senior citizens doing theater. And I think about this poem, Caged Bird, because it talks about a free bird and a caged bird, you know, but something it doesn't talk about is that caged bird probably does have comfort. It doesn't have to be affected by the outside world in terms of major influence or the dangers that come with it. And the bird is also fed. But the thing is, that bird is never able to fully extend and spread its wings, whereas that free bird is able to travel, and though there may be perils and dangers, it learns more in terms of its ability, its innate ability to be able to fly, to be able to explore and expand. And we've been too comfortable in the cage. So think about the ways that we can expand, and think about how that expansion may change the nature of who you're around, the nature of the environments you're in. Because if you're really about your ascension, then that will be your main priority. And I am now just so empowered even more to focus in on what my main priority is, what my main goals are. And I was having a talk with my brother, and it was a beautiful conversation as well, where he was also encouraging and inspiring me based on all of the abilities I have, how I can maximize off of them. And it's more so for me to get these messages out, but also to support myself in terms of knowing that I have certain abilities that I don't have to turn to different lines of work that, you know, I definitely enjoy and learn from doing, but at the same time, is it keeping me from fully maximizing on my potential? And so I just want to encourage y'all with that word today. And we have to really just respect where everybody's at, respect where other people are at, and respect ourselves enough where we're at to know, hey, all right, this is where I am. Now let me also work on where I'm going, and let me do that in a kind way. Maybe somebody is in a space where they might be addicted to something. And I'm not saying you respect the addiction, but you respect the person, to say, all right, let me assist in a way that's not going to interfere with their natural process or disturb their healing in any way, or also discourage them from their growth, from their ascension. So I think we need to definitely be kinder to ourselves in terms of how we deal with us, you know, but also be practical and be real. And it's the same with people. So it's also being able to respect somebody enough to tell them the truth when they ask for it, especially, and telling ourselves the truth when we really need to hear it. Because all too often we're lied to, not only by our loved ones, but by society at large, in terms of the type of concepts that they want to paint as cool that are really unhealthy. Whether we think about, how the music industry will spew a lot of negativity, the entertainment industry in general spewing a lot of negativity. And that has been a lot of people's main teacher. And so we have to really reprogram and recondition the way that we behave in the society in order to see healing not only within but also without. Because every single body, every single person is a part of this planet. So we affect the overall health of this planet. So may we move with more grace for ourselves and each other, but also in more truth. And it's interesting too, because people will be doing good and be discouraged by people who don't necessarily want to take those steps or may not be ready to ascend themselves. It's almost like they want to hold you in the cage because they're comfortable in the cage. And it's interesting, even people that I look to as elders and mentors, and some that I may look up to, can sometimes have that cage mentality, whether it's telling me, discouraging me from fasting, which, I at first I didn't think that was a thing. I would think that everybody would, be very almost like, wow, rooting for you, right? But there's a lot of people who may discourage you from doing something great, and I tell a lot of stories about this all the time, how it's happened to me personally. But even when you may be moving at a certain frequency, and somebody's like, oh, nah, you moving too fast. And it's like, nah, I may be moving too fast for you, but this is me moving at my God pace. This is me moving how I naturally move. And so it's also important to navigate when certain things are not in alignment with certain people. And that doesn't necessarily mean that, oh, you get rid of these people or anything, in my opinion. It just means that you have to make space for yourself to move at your frequency, at your level. So once again, I think we are all healers. And my philosophy is that the body is designed to heal itself. Your messages, the things that you truly have to say when you're connected to the divine, you are constantly delivering messages. So I don't like to consider myself a healer. That's like saying I'm a person. I more so want to be a messenger. I'm more, as Sabi said, I'm going to repeat this a lot because I loved it. When he was saying it, it really shook me to my core. It made me really think about this whole thing in a different way. Because a lot of people, we like to take on these titles out of ego, as opposed to making sure that we keep the main thing, which is sharing and helping others expand and grow in their journey. And a lot of people may lead with the ego, and it shows where they're at in their journey. And I don't discourage them, or I don't want to hate on them. What I do want to do is, anybody who's listening to this, like, really think about that. Think about these ideas and these concepts that we take on and why. It may be to sell a product. It may be because we are truly still working on ourselves to the point where we need to present ourselves in a certain light. And, if I could think it so I can be, and, fake it till you make it type thing, all of these concepts are definitely real concepts that people take on. What I do want to say is, when we connect back to that cosmic consciousness, that a lot of these things don't necessarily matter. You see yourself more as a channel of the Most High, and I, as in what we say in Rasta culture, that connection to the all, that connection to each other, that universe, right? You and I, writing this verse of life, and really just interpreting based off of the experiences that the Most High allows, the experiences that this planet allows. So I give thanks to nature, I give thanks to the Most High, and I give thanks to everybody watching today. This is Just Juice July, day 3. I'm feeling great. I'm gonna go do a little vocal warm-up before I gotta go teach this music class. And listen, y'all, tap in. Love you so much. Check the link in the description. Get to the flow code so you can, keep updated. Follow me. Make sure you subscribe, like, comment if you got anything you want to say. If you liked what you saw, give me a thumbs up. And we will definitely be coming with more all month, of course. And very, very excited for the rest of this month. I'm already feeling amazing. And stay rooted, y'all. Peace, love, abundance.